Western economies have long relied on Africa as a source of cheap raw materials, powering industries across Europe and North America. But today, a seismic shift is underway. 10 African nations have decided to halt the export of key resources in their raw form, choosing instead to retain this value domestically. This historic move is set to reshape global markets, disrupt Western industries, and bring Africa one step closer to economic independence. These nations are asserting their sovereignty over their resources, ending a cycle where raw materials were extracted, processed overseas, and then sold back to Africa at a premium. By banning the export of unprocessed materials, they're creating jobs, building industries, and ensuring that more of Africa's wealth benefits African people. This shift not only represents economic self-determination, but also a critical step towards sustainable development, allowing African nations to invest in infrastructure, education, and healthcare, ultimately enhancing the quality of life for their citizens. The implications of these changes reach far beyond the borders of Africa, challenging the existing global economic order and demanding a re-evaluation of how resources are utilized and who benefits from them. Number 1. Ghana. Starting with Ghana. Known for its abundant gold resources, Ghana is placing limits on raw gold exports to boost its own refining industry. This move is building Ghana's gold processing capacity, creating skilled jobs, and increasing the country's revenue, all of which contribute to a stronger national economy. Ghana is not just stopping at gold. The government is investing in education and training for its workforce to ensure that they are equipped with the skills needed for a more technologically advanced mining sector. The objective is to build a robust local industry that not only processes gold but also adds value through jewelry production and other gold-based products, which can be marketed both locally and internationally. Furthermore, Ghana's push to develop its refining capacity means that it can begin to negotiate better prices for its gold on the international market, reducing its vulnerability to fluctuations in global prices that have historically undermined its economy. Number 2. Uganda. Uganda, with its vast coffee and mineral reserves, has shifted focus to refining these resources domestically. By doing so, Uganda is growing its manufacturing sector and moving up the value chain, keeping more wealth within its borders. The government's investment in coffee processing facilities has started to bear fruit, leading to higher quality products that can compete in premium markets worldwide. This has provided local farmers with better income opportunities and fostered economic growth in rural areas. Additionally, Uganda's focus on domestic processing extends to its mineral resources, including tantalum and rare earth elements. By refining these minerals locally, Uganda is not only reducing its dependence on foreign companies, but also establishing itself as a key player in the global supply chain, particularly for industries reliant on technology and renewable energy. Number 3. Gabon. Log ban. Gabon has imposed a ban on exporting unprocessed logs. This ban is shaking the European furniture industry, which has relied on cheap Gabonese wood for years. By processing timber locally, Gabon aims to develop a sustainable forestry sector and support local manufacturing industries. This move is pivotal for Gabon's economy as it encourages the establishment of furniture and wood product manufacturing plants within the country. By doing so, Gabon is creating jobs and ensuring that the profits from its natural resources are retained within the local economy. Additionally, local processing of timber will lead to better environmental practices, reducing deforestation and promoting sustainable forestry management. The implications for the European furniture industry are significant. Companies that previously relied on cheap imports will now have to adapt to higher prices for Gabonese timber or seek alternative sources, potentially increasing their production costs and altering market dynamics. Number 4. Niger. Uranium restrictions. Niger's decision to restrict uranium exports is especially significant for France, which has depended on Niger's uranium for its nuclear energy sector for decades. Historically, this resource was sold at prices that mainly benefited French interests. Now, Niger's uranium will be used to advance the country's own energy needs, challenging France's energy security. This restriction not only empowers Niger to leverage its resources for national development, but also opens the door for potential partnerships with other nations seeking uranium for their nuclear programs. By controlling its uranium supply, Niger can negotiate better terms that reflect its strategic importance in the global energy landscape. Furthermore, Niger's government plans to invest in local infrastructure and energy projects that will utilize its uranium, potentially leading to a more diversified energy portfolio and reduced reliance on foreign energy imports. Number 5. Guinea, food export ban. In Guinea, a ban on raw food exports is in place, focusing on feeding the nation first. For Guinea's citizens, this means better food security and an emphasis on domestic agriculture, supporting local farmers and reducing reliance on imported food. By prioritizing local consumption, Guinea aims to stabilize its food prices and improve nutrition for its population. The government is also implementing programs to enhance agricultural productivity through modern techniques and better access to markets for local farmers, empowering them to grow more diverse and sustainable crops. This ban not only addresses immediate food security concerns, but also encourages a more resilient agricultural sector that can withstand external shocks, such as climate change and global market fluctuations. Number 6. Mozambique, timber ban. Following Gabon's lead, Mozambique has restricted the export of raw timber. Now, Mozambique's wood is processed locally, boosting the country's manufacturing capabilities and creating employment opportunities that were previously lost to foreign processing plants. Mozambique's decision to process timber domestically is seen as a key strategy in combating illegal logging and promoting sustainable forestry practices. The government is also working to enhance the quality of timber products, which will enable Mozambique to compete in higher-value markets and attract foreign investment in its forestry sector. By shifting to local processing, Mozambique is not only retaining more value within its economy, but also fostering a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship as local businesses begin to emerge in the wood processing industry. Number 7. Namibia, lithium restrictions. Namibia is halting the export of raw lithium, an essential mineral in electronics and electric vehicles. By keeping lithium processing within the country, Namibia is tapping into the global demand for batteries, setting up a future where it benefits directly from the booming EV industry. The Namibian government recognizes the strategic importance of lithium as a critical component for renewable energy storage and electric vehicles. By investing in lithium processing facilities, Namibia aims to create jobs, develop local expertise, and establish itself as a major player in the global battery supply chain. This move also allows Namibia to negotiate more favorable trade terms with international companies seeking lithium for their products. As global demand for electric vehicles continues to rise, Namibia stands to gain significantly from this burgeoning market, potentially transforming its economy. Number 8. Ivory Coast, cocoa control. The Ivory Coast has long been a top cocoa producer, yet it traditionally received only a fraction of the wealth its cocoa generated. Now, the government is strengthening its grip on the cocoa industry, requiring more local processing. This move has lifted Ivory Coast's economy and challenged an industry that once kept Africa on the lowest rung of the value chain. Ivory Coast leaders have declared that Africa deserves a fair share of the wealth created by its resources, a stance rooted in economic dignity. By mandating local processing, the government is not only enhancing the economic prospects of its farmers, but also ensuring that a greater portion of the cocoa value chain is retained within the country. This policy shift is expected to lead to increased investment in local chocolate production, creating jobs and boosting the national economy. Furthermore, it empowers local farmers by providing them with better prices for their cocoa, reducing the influence of multinational corporations that have historically dictated terms. Number 9. Democratic Republic of the Congo. The DRC, with its rich reserves of cobalt and other minerals, is also restricting raw exports. By promoting domestic processing, the DRC is building a foundation for more economic stability and independence in the future. Cobalt, essential for lithium-ion batteries, has surged in global demand, and the DRC is in a unique position to capitalize on this trend. By processing cobalt locally, The DRC can capture more value from its resources and invest in critical infrastructure and social programs that benefit its citizens. Additionally, this move is seen as a response to the environmental and social challenges posed by the mining industry in the DRC. By regulating exports, the government can impose stricter environmental standards and ensure that mining operations are conducted responsibly, benefiting local communities. Number 10. Zimbabwe, Chrome Ban. Zimbabwe has banned the export of raw chrome, prioritizing local processing. This move supports the development of Zimbabwe's metallurgical sector, creating jobs and keeping more wealth within the country's borders. Zimbabwe is home to some of the largest chrome deposits in the world, and by focusing on local processing, the government aims to foster industrial growth and attract investment. The chrome processing industry is poised to create thousands of jobs, boosting local economies and providing skills training for workers. This ban not only positions Zimbabwe as a key player in the global chrome market, but also empowers the nation to develop a diversified economy that relies less on raw material exports and more on value-added production. This trend of resource sovereignty is sending a clear message. Africa is no longer content to be. As Western economies begin to feel the impact, one thing is clear. Africa's rise is reshaping the global economy, creating a new era where Africa holds the power over its own resources.